What's up, roomies? I'm Justin Makak, and if this is your first time here, welcome on into Room 51. Today, I'm going to be doing a board game brief where I take a game that I've been playing recently, and I give a quick overview on it, and I tell you how much I like it. So before I get into it, please go ahead and like and subscribe. And now to start off this board game brief, I'm going to be talking about Dawn of Ulos by Thunderworks Games, designed by Jason Lentz. So the first thing to mention about Dawn of Ulos is that it is fantasy themed, set in the world of Ulos from Thunderworks. If you've ever played any of their games such as Cartographers, Role Player Adventures, things like that, all that takes place in Ulos. Dawn of Ulos is thematically about the inception of Ulos, the very beginning of Ulos. All the players are gods that are kind of contributing to the different strength of the different factions at the very beginning of this world being created. The real way that this game plays, though, is it's very much an economic game. It is a stock market game where there will be 5 different factions in the game, and each player is able to buy cards from the factions, okay? As the factions are in a weaker state, the cards are cheaper. But as the factions are in a stronger state, the cards are more expensive. What's nice about the cards is each faction has its own ability. So you're able to play one of their cards to use the faction's ability, and you're going to get money back for whatever value it's at, but you also then lose the card. So you're getting the money, which is great. That is victory points for you at the end of the game. It also allows you to buy more cards. But at the very end of the game, once the game is over, you're going to take whatever cards you have in your hand and multiply it by the matching faction's strength. So you do want to hold on to some faction cards and hope that that faction ends up strong, because that will really net you the most points. But it's very much a buy low, sell high type of game. It's all about timing, and there's just so much intensity because each player is placing out tiles that will be contributing to the different faction's strength. And since no one player plays as a singular faction, you never know for sure which faction each player is going to help or try to hurt. And that type of intensity really just every single decision, there's so many pros and cons to it, and you're always paying attention to how the board state is changing. The game, though, at the end of the day, is very much an economic game with a fantasy twist to it, with these like fantasy abilities and everything. But its core is an economic stock market game. So that's the overview of the game. How much did I enjoy it? For me, it hits that I really like it mark. I really like it. So I have found each gameplay to be very intense, and each gameplay really went down to the wire, which I love. I love that feeling of what you're doing in the early game is super important. It does set you up for later on. And yes, if you had a strong early game, you could really try to hold that lead, but there are definitely ways to come back, and the state of the game can change so instantly because somebody could be hoarding all the goblin cards, and they have 10 goblin cards in their hand, and yes, this kind of happened to me. And you have all these goblin cards in your hand, and the goblins were super strong, but right before the end of the game, somebody cuts the goblins down, and the goblins become worth so little, and now that player that technically was leading for so long totally drops out of first place. But there was such good reason for it. There was so much intensity and so much nuance around it. There's every turn, it's just making such a difference on the board. So it hits that I really like it mark for me. I super highly recommend it. I think the art is beautiful. I think the gameplay is really smooth. It is a little bit of a longer game. Each play of mine has come close to 2 hours. As much as I wish that it was a little shorter, just as I like those snappier games, it's because of the analysis paralysis that was occurring in the game. So that is Dawn of Ulos. Let me know in the comments what you think of this game if you've done it, and what you think of the world of Ulos. I'll catch you next time.